Good at the moment, you?
Yep. Okay. Leicester, make sure, please. Time on. Yes, please. Take him back, yep. Leicester. Steps away. It's off a boot for me. Advantage. Goes. Yeah. 1 second. Scrum. Sorry. You were gone. There you go, lads.
Russell makes contact, nothing in that tackle illegal.
What's good about Isaiah Perese, Oots?
He's busy, he's physical, he's abrasive, and he was right on the border of it last week at Sandy Park. But expect plenty of action, a real focal point, especially in the absence of Kata not being available over the next few weeks.
Maybe just a little bit more variety with Dan Kelly there, though, alongside him, do you think? Just a little bit more of a distributor?
Kelly is, but I think people underestimate. Kelly's a carrier as well. For his size, he's got huge power. Well, they don't lose a huge amount from Kelly's carrying ability, but I think Ugo's right. I think Perese almost looked like a guy that was trying to prove to everyone why he was here last week. Maybe just a bit more settled this week may be required.
Anthony Watson, seasonal debut against old friends. Even if it is a club that the relationship did not end as well as it might have done. And that's gone straight out of play.
It's a poor kick from the new skipper. He smiles, but he'll know now, Bath, with their midfield carriers that they've got available. Lawrence, Alfie Barbari's come out, Pepper's come out, shorten the line out. And they'll be looking to make a huge dent in that Leicester midfield early on.
There's Jack Van Portfleet. Let's travel inside his head for a moment. Just let his boyhood club out for the first time.
I don't think he was.
Here at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road.
Okay. Tom up. That's the thank you.
Tom Dunn, beginning of 14th season with the club, hoping there might be some silverware at the end of this one for the first time in his career. Barbary again given the job of transporting it forward, but Leicester were there and did more than stop him. You could see what they did, but Barbary did really well to
50-22 is not an option.
Get back involved, and Stewart to Finn Russell, who hoists it over the top. And this is a really sharp burst, and oh, held up just short. The run from Muir initially. Spencer, quick ball, and all sorts of things are possibilities. Russell to Lawrence, gets the ball away, and here goes Stock and the Singer. But Leicester's defence up very quickly, and from a position where you were convinced Bath really had to score, Leicester have defended well. Spencer. Well, this is Beno Abano, and again Bath creeping that close to the try line. Dunn, head down. Bayliss waits. Charlie Clare was out very quickly.
One out. Seven.
Oh, Tommy Raffel over the top, but he's told to give that up by Craig Maxwell-Keys. Rock solid foundation for Bath to strike here and strike first and strike early.
Free shot, not going to be able to take it, come back for the offside, but mentioned before the game about Barbari's unique ability to stay strong in contact. Doesn't have to win the initial collision. If you don't bring him down, he'll come back at you again. We just saw on that carry in the breakdown, Perese flying out of the line, hitting him, knocking him backwards. Might have been Kelly, but he managed to get free and go again, put his team on the front foot, and now they're down here in the red zone.
Dunn leaves it for Spencer. Here goes Barbary. Another supercharged Super Mario performance on the opening night against Northampton, and he's helped set this position up. Guy Pepper lays it backwards. How long have Bath been banging on Leicester's front door? That close to going through. Perese not happy with bits and bobs that were going on there, but Barno. Oh, and Leicester think they might have turtled him, turned him round, and they've done a brilliant job.
That was brilliant. I think it's Raffel who spots the low tackle from Liebenberg. Liebenberg has to get under Urbano to stop him. He does that, and as Urbano twists to try and get the ball over the line, Raffel locks onto the ball. They hold him up. Hayes comes in to assist. Turnover made.
Yeah. That's number 8. We're asking for a HIA on 8, yep. So that's a HIA.
It's Alfie Barbary who is coming off for a head injury assessment, and Jaco Kurtzia on very early. We hope to see more of Barbary in a while. Shilcock, briefest of spells at Bath with the clearing kick, and Thokinus Singer thudding into contact. Maloney, one of the very good summer signings, now playing for Bath rather than Leinster, for whom he devoted his career up to this point.
12 offside.
And he's involved again.
The pass from the 9.
Dan Kelly was offside. That's why Bath have the advantage. Russell and then Muir. Hauled to the ground by Kelly. Spencer. Oh, and then Stewart again. The sounds of contact. Russell, oh, how good was that? Rolled around the tackle, flicked the ball away. And then the kick that Ben Spencer wasn't entirely happy with. You heard the gasp of frustration, but all of that was free ball because they were playing with the advantage.
Leicester have had to do a huge amount of defending. It's almost the hallmark of their victory last week, and this fella, Anthony Watson, is understanding of how not to get sucked into defence and forcing the decisions onto the attacker. Passive here, Will Muir turns inside, and then he tracks all the way back whilst Will Muir throws that dummy, completes that tackle. His experience, his speed there.
Well, when you are one of the best in the world, you can smile at occasional lapses of brilliance.
Well, he's one player that just puts stuff like that behind him very, very quickly. But I think Johan van Graan will be disappointed that the accuracy in the red zone, in particular from Bath, I feel they should have scored, not when they were picking and going through Urbano, but there were options before then where they had numbers in the wide channel, couldn't quite get the accuracy. Yes, under pressure from a fast line speed, but you need to be picking up those points and getting ahead of Leicester and really making the home team feel uncomfortable under pressure. They're surviving at the moment, Leicester, although the onslaughts come their way. There's nothing on the scoreboard to show for it.
It's a bit of a breeze rolling around Welford Road. It'll make some of those kicks tough to judge as the kicker, but even tougher to judge as the catcher as well.
If I was Bath, I'd be kicking a knot of 10. We saw Ben Spencer, his first kick-off 9 to Freddie Stewart. I mean, that's bread and butter. But from 10, where you can split the back three and create chaos like they did, a very good tactic.
Line out intended for Harry Wells, did not reach its target cleanly. So Bath
Hold on side.
Jaco Perese warming up his shoulders, and again the speed of Leicester's defence. It was Perese out again quickly into Glanville, and this is Thokanasiga, and he's hauled down by Hassel Collins, but such is the strength of Thokanasiga that he kept his momentum. Here's Pepper, first start for the club, that close to the try. Spencer lays it back. You feel that Bath have to score a try. How much time have they spent here in the last few minutes? Once again, Leicester's defence drilled by Matt Everard, being tested to the max. Little pick and go, almost there. And then Perese scored late on last Friday night.
Hands up.
Stewart. Two Leicester players stop him, including Joe Hayes, and again the ball's over the line.
Flipped onto his back again.
And again, Leicester have done the turtling job.
He almost does a forward roll there, Stewart, as he goes in. Obviously his head's low to the ground, trying to find the try line. The Leicester players get round his midreef, just uses leg drive momentum to flip him over himself.
My error. I agree
Nice
with
and
you,
low, keeps going. Look, they're holding him up in the air, and then a bit of a pull from Cracknell just takes him the rest of the way over the line, and another goal line dropout.
There's Matt Everard alongside Brett Deacon, the forwards coach. Matt Everard doing such a good job to tighten the defence last season. They were, in fact, the tightest defence in the Premiership. Let in just 51 tries, which really tells you the problem was in attack. They didn't score anywhere near enough. Getting a lot of opportunity to practice that defence at the moment, and hit provided by George Martin, the latest big hit. Done. It's been a very composed start by Bath, beyond scoring the try. That's all that's been missing. So much possession, so much threat. Led often by Thokanasiga, who manages to wrestle the ball down to the ground. Russell, done. Cries of forward from folk around me who might not be entirely neutral. Here goes Bayliss, and then Muir stretching his legs and chasing his own kick, but Stewart was there. What a ferocious start to this match, Hughes.
Oh my goodness, I tell you what, Bath are creating so much at the moment. 87% possession. I've mentioned it once already, but Leicester Tigers last week, they hung in the fight, and that was their defence. That was incredible, and I tell you what, their commitment and their choice to tackle, some of their physicality has been class.
.87% possession. Now it's time for a little bit of green possession, but for how much longer? Stewart, Shilcott said, how about playing the game in Bath's half? 50-22. Biggest roar of the day. My goodness, Leicester needed that.
Asking for a quick throw from Hassel Collins as well. I think the ball had been touched by someone off the field though. But what a kick that is. Threads it through between them. And nothing Russell can do to get over there. And what a turn-up this would be, in a psychological shift for the home side. If, having absorbed all that pressure on their own line, first go they could come down here and score with their first attacking opportunity.
Julian Montoya making his way back from the Rugby Championship with Argentina, so the throwing job belonging to Charlie Clare, the catching job, as it so often does, the responsibility of Hanro Liebenberg, the pushing job a collective effort. But Quinn Rue and co have done a really good job of slowing this down, although they have been penalised, so Leicester can give it a bit of a rip here. Shilcott with the kick, Spencer in the Russell in the way.
Six unbinds, then tackles the ball carrier.
Penalty against Bayliss, sorry.
To try and roll infield slightly. And they lost a couple of the Bath players behind them, but that change of bind, I think from Josh Bayliss, and then brought it down. They get another shot, slightly closer to the line by half a metre.
Lots of prowling tigers.
There's another ball on the pitch. Yeah, you can go again, clearly. You can recall, there's 2 balls on the pitch. It's not your fault.
And slightly older prowling tiger who still looks like he could prowl down on the pitch and growl away like he used to. And there's, I vaguely recognise those two, Tom Croft and a couple of blokes behind.
2 stars of daytime TV behind.
Anyway, Liebenberg gathering it. Look at the feet. Look at the work of Joe Hayes trying to drive that on. Short, stabby steps, digging studs into Welford Road turf. Now it's Bath's time to madly lock doors on their own try line. Henro Liebenberg looking interested, so too Tommy Raffel. We remember what he did at Sandy Park a week ago.
And stopping that ball coming out right on the line.
He breaks away.
Just slowed it down when it looked like Leicester might go again, but the penalty already been conceded. They come back.
Short. But fair question. Release.
Van Porfleet, inexperienced skipper, but has just gone up to the referee, said, look, a couple of penalties now down here, and the ref said we'll give them 1 more before the warning comes.
That's 2 on the bounce. Let's be better, please. General discipline here.
Well, they got this bit absolutely right down in Devon last weekend. At home today against Bath. Taken on by Clare, rumbling towards the line. Van Portfleet with options left and right. He goes right, looks for Perese. Brilliant Bath defence this time. Ollie Lawrence putting his body on the line as they have to. 3-4 Bath defenders. It's been a story of epic defending of your own try line at both ends so far. This time, Leicester trying to worm their way around the post. Harry Wells interested.
Lads, hands up.
So too maybe George Martin. Off they go!
Short.
Just short. And Thokana Singer fires it away, but another penalty.
Yeah, this side entry, I think, against either Maloney or Bayliss. They come along the side. This will definitely be a warning now, but you just watch, it's Maloney there, isn't it, that just comes in, and then that's Quinn Rue, actually, that comes in on the ball, slips up the side.
I'm happy with just a penalty and a warning.
And then, as he goes for the reach, Martin thinks he's got there. Huge strength from Lawrence, and just as enough with his right arm to dislodge the ball.
Not yet, but here, definitely. We're going to have to wait for 14
He knows it's short.
Just a little glance across to Peter Hewitt, Leicester's new backs and attack coach from Michael Checker. Alfie Barbary has passed his head injury assessment, so he'll be back on soon enough.
It's an ambitious question.
Eager to get back into the fire of it all.
This is not going to sing a bit. That's definitely short. Singer tries to get the ball away.
Referee's right there.
Yeah.
Have a look at,
I don't know whether he saw it cleanly, but certainly knew what he was doing there, just jumping and twisting in the air.
So you're going to show me some foul play, Hamish?
Yeah, Hamish
I'm going to show you some
Nails
foul play.
Okay.
chipping in.
What are we looking at, please? I'm in front of the screen, so fire it up when you're ready.
Great, here it comes.
You're saying it speaks to foul play threshold?
So it's just late and coming into that contact there, Craig.
So let's roll it again, please. He's entitled to defend himself, but we don't think this is that action. So this is potentially moving into the foul play bracket. So let's just show it again to work out point of contact. Okay, so he turns his shoulder into him. I'm happy it's foul play. Do you agree with that, Hamish?
Yeah, agreed.
And then the force goes across the upper body and the head, so I'm a yellow card.
Yeah, happy with
Okay,
that.
and what player is it?
It's 13.
13.
How can he control himself in the air?
He's got another option.
Well, a yellow card
And hit a player dangerously.
relatively early on at Sandy Park last weekend. A yellow card even earlier this weekend for Isaiah Perese on his home debut. The Wallaby off to spend another 10 minutes contemplating life.
Van Poorfleet, the captain's just asked the referee there, how does he defend himself in the air? And we've seen red cards given like this before, when you have to be aware before you take off of the actions of what you're doing. And by jumping in the air, he loses the control a little bit. I'm not sure he needs to jump in the air. He can probably say, I was going for a charge down, but as soon as you're off the ground, you can't change direction. So you just have to be more careful going into those situations.
Referees want to see if you're trying to charge down, you're aiming for the feet, and that clearly wasn't that.
There you go.
Alfie Barbary back.
Take another step, please.
And importantly,
Lads, push,
Nasinga has gone off for an HIA there, so it has had an effect on the game.
Ross Maloney. What about his signing, Ben? What does he bring to that, not just the line-out, but all over the pitch for Bath this season?
I think he's one of those wiry, strong, very annoying players to play against. Reminds me a little bit of Bayliss as well in that respect. You know, doesn't look out and out as that powerful, but just has a hand in everything.
Van Poorfleet to Tommy Raffel. Marks his way just beyond halfway. Shilcock fires the ball above halfway. It'll come down on the 10-metre line. And it was lost. And Bath spilling ball into Leicester hands. This is Martin. Nicky Smith. Very impressive debut at Sandy Park last weekend, the former Osprey. Shilcock and Stewart, and away quickly. Liebenberg, one man to beat. Back to Hassel-Collins. Leicester score.
Oh, I think he might have dropped this.
On-field knock-on, in goal.
Oh. No, head in hands. Goodness me.
So much is so good about all of this, up until...
No, because the knock-on in goal.
in a game which absolutely has provided so much quality. It's astonishing as to why there hasn't been a try scored.
They take it in, goal line drop out.
Those people asking why players always dive when no one's around them. That's the reason. Why he's not slid in there, I don't know, but...
And then Ollie Cracknell in 7th gear as he motored into that. Draws the penalty. Oh, this time over the head of Hassel-Collins.
You can counter, but you can't go off your feet.
I might be easily pleased these days, but I can't remember a busier start to a match without a score for a long, long time. So much going on.
It's been very, very good. Oh,
The build-up to the try was fantastic, wasn't it?
The movement, the way in which they swing around the corner, the timing of the passing, the injection of pace. It's class here. No look, and then the fizz across. Liebenberg does everything right. Hassel-Collins, he does almost everything right. And I can unfortunately speak with a bit of experience of this, dropping the ball over try line.
I've never done it.
Away from a World Cup final. Just a little side view there of Peter Hewitt. Leicester were crying out for some direction in attack last
Squirrel
season.
on the pitch. There's a squirrel. We have a streaker.
Where's my dog Waffle? Waffle, all yours. In the meantime, Jamie Shilcock not at all concerned. Squirrel does not stop play. Leicester lead 3-0.
I thought it was Austin when it first ran on the field. It is a squirrel.
Where's he gone? He's headed towards the nuts on the far side.
What?
He's headed towards the nuts. Here's Cracknell. Tommy Raffel. A couple of Ollie Cracknell charges that have dislodged fillings.
Yes, please.
Obviously,
Take him back.
Leicester missing Jasper Wiese this season, and there's an area there to be filled, and Cracknell, who put in an unbelievable performance last week, having come back from losing his father in the week, and to put in a performance like that, he will have gone up so much in.
Oh, here goes Butt. What a charge from him. Got the ball away. Lawrence away one-handed beautifully. Muir, finally! We have a score that this contest has demanded. It's a high-quality one, and just, he will hope, squeezing into the corner.
Real tightness in the Leicester midfield there because of all the Bath forward carriers. No one had put any width on it. Bath so good at going to the line in midfield and fizzing it out into the wide channel, and then this time, not perfect delivery, but Ollie Lawrence picks it up, goes forward, lovely offload, just enough room for Muir, and he slides it in the corner. They've deserved that, Bath.
And this is the shot from Josh on the Cinecam, who makes sure that he doesn't drop the camera by doing his own dive as well. Well done, Josh.
One job, Josh.
Look at him. He's hurt himself.
He was worrying about dropping it, so he just slid in.
Josh's friends and family will be relieved to know that he's fine. What a shot that provided, right up to the point that he did what he did. Anyway, that was fabulous from so many people. Conversion not successful, but it's 5-3. You'll have noticed, by the way, Orlando Bailey, we've not underlined his presence. He is on for Thokina Singer, off to have his head checked after he was clattered into. There's Orlando Bailey.
Real slow walk back from the Leicester Tigers team there. I feel that Bath have got so much momentum in this game. They're just trying to take that out of it, take the sting out of them. And they need to camp the away side down in their own half, their own 22.
Alfie Barbary, who'll be joining us for the rugby review at the end of this. We can count his ribs, make sure that he's got the requisite number.
It's a ruck. Just because everyone falls over doesn't mean the ruck.
Abane. Guy Pepper amongst those, along with Barbary, providing some shelter for Spencer to get his kick away. Left foot, right foot. Ben Spencer just does what he does from those situations. Probably better than anyone, certainly better than anybody else in the Premiership at the moment, Hughes, would you say?
And the line is yours?
I think so. I mean, we're early on into the season, that's for sure, but it is one of the staple points of this game.
Charlie Clare, Liebenberg, Shilcock to Kelly, with Cracknell running behind, offering a little bit of his weight as well. George Martin, first game of his season. Liebenberg having to take a couple of steps back to sweep up, and then back in field to reset on the 15-metre line.
Yes, please. Let go, Benno.
Muir, the try scorer, Lawrence on hand, and Orlando Bailey's there as well, and that wasn't far away. But that was a meaningful stare from Hanro Liebenberg. Made sure that he'd done his job.
Cover's brilliant there because the offloading is superb, and they're thinking that Leicester are going to run out of numbers. The ball back inside. This pass is superb from Lawrence. One more. And Leicester have the cover there. So often that transition, as players just don't see that on the inside quickly enough. And you run out of defenders as the quicker men get pulled away from the slower inside guys. Liebenberg, though, alert to it and enjoyed that one.
Well, they've been pushing, haven't they, Bath? And I'll tell you, Will Butt, who I was so impressed with last week, is his lines of running. Dan Kelly, who's in this 13 channel, 12 channel, he's got to understand the Perese's off the pitch. He gets himself caught on a heavy drift. Will Butt opens up that hole, which is incredible, gets that offload away, and they manage just to keep that ball alive. And another trademark offload from Ollie Lawrence. And Will Muir goes into the corner.
Into the final couple of minutes of Perese's yellow card. Leicester still operating with just 14 on the pitch for the time being. Van Courtfleet, plenty of air, but plenty of time. Or at least enough before Watson hunted him down. Done. Every time, Ben, players, teams trying to get on to the 15-metre line to provide them with that perfect position from which to launch. They've got the blind side or the big open side.
Uncharacteristic error from Freddie Stewart there. Pepper so quick to react.
It's Muir who's still on his knees and a little bit of pain. Done. Spencer, Russell. Oh, that's nice. Oh, it's really nice. Disguise kick and so close to being taken by Lawrence. It looked for all the world as if Russell was going cross-field. In the end, it was just a little dink over the top. Beautiful.
The disguise is brilliant. Have a look at it for the combination between the two of them. Nick, you're right. The way in which Finn opens his body up, he knows. They were millimetres away from a second try. Ollie Lawrence, who scored last week, was looking to double his tally. But how good have they been, especially down to 14 men, trying to manipulate the space and try and connect the dots in the backs.
He's got his hand on the ball.
Combination between those two is only going to grow this season. It was good last year, but you just feel that second season of playing together, he'll know all the little intricacies of Russell's game, what he can actually do having played against him, and that, it's almost telepathic, isn't it? I'm sure there was a call that was made between the two of them, but the timing of it was superb and so nearly came off for another score for the blue, black and white.
Joe Thoffiner-Singh has failed his HIA. Orlando Bailey will stay with us.
Hold two.
Time up on the yellow card, but Leicester still having to defend one more session. A man down, and Lawrence does hold on to it this time, despite the juggling.
To regather by the same player live.
And here's Bayliss.
Yeah, it's fine play on.
Fine play on, thank you.
Stewart doesn't find any way through. Tom de Glanville loitering on this right-hand side, and then no way through for Pepper. Isaiah Perese back with us.
Four.
There's Lawrence coming hard back against the grain on the switch plate with Spencer, holds on to the ball. They go a couple of times down that blind side, maybe just the one would have been better. Well, obviously with hindsight the ball went into touch, but Pepper maybe just running away from the support a little bit.
Cracknell. He's been mighty impressive. Each run is only 4, 5, 6 metres, but they are big 4, 5, 6 metres. And then the clearing kick from Stewart is a big one. Played last weekend, Ollie Cracknell. You may well have seen this against Exeter. Despite losing his dad in the week, he took a couple of days to be with his family, and then he rang Michael Checker and said, my dad would want me to play, and I'm ready to play, and I will play. And he was outstanding. Done to Maloney, Spencer, Russell, and then Barbary loitering in midfield. That's gone forwards.
Feather in the cap for Shilcock there. Big shot on the biggest carrier.
Yes, boys.
Lots of football next week.
You still talking
good.
football,
No.
Nick?
We go forwards, not across as our first action, please.
No.
There we go.
We've got a bit of rugby. Let's talk rugby. I'm much happier talking about rugby. They are the games. I'm sure you know by now, but TNT has every single Gallagher Premiership game live this season. If it's on, you'll find it somewhere. There's the football. Who are Arsenal losing to this week? Where are they getting their comeuppance?
PSG on Tuesday.
Absolute robbery yesterday. Ben's Liverpool somewhere as well, but that's enough of the football. Look at, there's loads of football. Pick out your team, work out where they are, and they will be with us on TNT Sport over the course of the week. Another huge week of European football with us and the football team.
That's the judgment I'm going to have to make. Reset. You end up
We haven't had many scrums as yet, but could be a factor. Nicky Smith, the new signing for Tigers, been brought in. Very good around the field, but primarily the scrummaging ability. Up against all that experience of England international Will Stewart.
Is he hearing the Welford Road crowd in his ears for the first time? On his side for the first time, having been here during his long years with the Ospreys. Caught Leicester's eyes playing for the Ospreys against them and against Joe Hayes, with whom he is pushing today. And between them, and with the assistance of half a dozen others, they win the penalty. Penalty against Will Stewart.
Stewart's got his feet a long way back, trying to just lock out, doesn't want to be attacked by Nicky Smith. Not sure Nicky Smith didn't hinge a little bit at the hips, but kept his balance. See how far back Stewart's feet are there. Maybe it's a slight drop of the left shoulder by Nicky Smith first, but because his feet are so back, he can't recover.
Oh, that's nice, and Clare gets his own ball back. Jack Van Portfleet was initially part of that line out. Here comes Cracknell once more. Liebenberg standing off. Ball to Martin first, though. Van Portfleet. Kelly, again, Clare hunting down space through the middle. Once more, George Martin. Drop, but picked up by Van Portfleet. Pepper was on him in a flash. Shilcock, that's an interesting pass. It's not one that Freddie Stewart would want repeating too often.
I mean, that was an awful 10 seconds of rugby, wasn't it? And Bath punishing them, and this has been an issue for Leicester. Just that red zone efficiency and composure.
Oh, that's nice. Watson in space. Muir had time to get back, but those feet of Watson, little ankle-breaking steps, Hugo, that as a winger are a nightmare to stand up to.
Yeah, he looks electric, doesn't he, Anthony?
Shilka.
He rolls, and it puts him the wrong side.
Apologies for the language, a little bit of Leicester frustration.
Ball carried. And then it puts three the wrong side.
Goes against Shilcock, doesn't it? Just darts, gets lost a little bit away from his support, maybe. Referee judging him to have rolled on the floor just to buy time for those support players to get there.
Oh, dear.
It's not the first that's been missed.
Keep moving back.
And Stewart. Oh, bounced the other way. It would have been the biggest of 50-22s. Instead, Russell gratefully can pick up.
It's missed the touch again.
Jack Van Portfleet running in because none of the Bath defenders. Oh, and then that's high. And DuPont's law for all to see there, and Jack Van Portfleet absolutely using the fact that none of those Bath players were able to tackle him. Oh, and then the run through from him, and he scores. Skippering Leicester here in the Premiership for the first time ever, and that's a try all of Jack Van Portfleet's making.
Well, World Rugby will use this on their highlights reel, because this is what the new law change is all about. There's nothing Bath can do. Finn Russell, the last man back, misses his touch. He has to keep running forward till he puts all those players on side. He doesn't realise until too late he has to do that. None of those Bath players can touch him until Finn Russell goes past. Now they can. That's the change in law. Previous years, they would have just had to wait for Van Poortvliet to run 10 metres. This time, they have to let him go. He gets to within striking range, and then he strikes himself. While the defence is in disarray, trying to reorganise at the breakdown, he picks, he goes. And that is the new law. They want to create more space onto the field.
Yeah, we're still looking.
Just having a little look to check that clear out there wasn't too far away from the breakdown, which opened up the gap for Van Poortvliet.
That's all okay.
Time back up.
Hamish Smells, our TMO, wanting to check that there was no illegal blocking going on. And there wasn't in his mind, in Craig Maxwell-Key's mind, so Jenny Shilcock can eye up this conversion, continuing to hold the fort while Andre Pollard's concluding Rugby Championship business. He will come back as a Rugby Championship winner.
Just kick it. You're going to sit here for 30-odd seconds.
Leicester ahead, 10 points to 5 minutes to half-time.
It's not the end of the game, it's a tight game anyway, but Jack Van Poortvliet, he's the one who sets it off. Joe Hayes with a fantastic clear-out, and then Van Poortvliet, the captain today, dragging his team back into the lead of it. But yeah, on the conversions, I know we got 60 seconds, but if you're closing out a half or the end of a game, fair enough. But if it's there to be kicked, let's just kick it.
Finn Russell goes long and high with his restart. That was tough for Cracknell to take, and de Glanville and Bayliss to his right-hand side. De Glanville happy to reset. Spencer to Stewart. Leicester inviting more pressure on their own line off the restart. Bayliss picked up by Quinn Roux. Oh, Leicester have won it back. Nicky Smith
just ripped it.
It's clearly over.
And that clearance to touch not missed by Leicester's fullback.
Freddie Stewart's kicking out of hand has been outstanding. The length of it, the pressure that it's taken off.
Nearly, thank you. Yep.
Conversely, in the build-up to Van Poortvliet's try, Finn Russell missing touch, a couple of legends. Tom Croft, Martin Corrie.
Hold.
Done. Decent effort from Martin, but it found Roux and Russell and de Glanville. That's nice. And this is Orlando Bailey and Muir having to create a bit of space for himself before it runs out, which it did sooner than he would have wanted to.
They're trying to rip Leicester wide, aren't they? Open up those gaps in midfield for when they come back. They're really, really good this season at taking the ball to the line, holding defenders, which means when the defenders do get back out there, they're having to corner flag to get over there. But it's just a little bit wide. Sorry, a little bit wide. What do you say? Just coming in to finish that off. Swings his arm in and just drags the man over the line.
Cracknell. Lassoed by Roux.
What I can see there is good run.
The final 3 minutes of
Retreat.
a first half that has barely stopped for breath. Muir in front of Bailey, picked up by Butt, who, as Hugo was saying, was so impressive against Northampton a week ago, grabbing his opportunity with Cam Redpath and Max Ajomo, both out injured initially at the start of this season.
Tackle.
Ajomo. Russell, and here he goes again, but breaking through, and this is Bayliss galloping away, and Spencer was up there, and Bayliss just couldn't quite sort out his arms in time. Otherwise, Bath may well have been in for another.
Well, Bath need a lesson in getting off the touchline. Again, they've been tackled into touch. They're making huge inroads from the middle third of the field into the Leicester defence, but if you get tackled into touch, it's as good as a turnover. This is great, though.
Oh, it's class. He's so direct. It's just, I mean, he has no right to be able to go through that hole. He's got 2 men on him, but so physical. Just trying to challenge inside shoulders, and then has the awareness to be able to try and keep the ball alive. Thought he was excellent last week and started this game very well too.
One of the things that Johan van Graan talked about before the season started was how with all these law changes, particularly around the free kick instead of an extra scrum, talking about how much more ball in play time we're going to have. Bath were the lowest ball in play last season, around 35 minutes. He reckons it might be closer to 40 on average this season. And we're seeing it here. There's barely been any time to stop.
The law change of the DuPont law, we've seen that affected today, but not in the way that he's probably talking about. It's trying to get rid of the kick tennis, and Bath got involved in a fair bit of kick tennis. They're not doing that this year. We've seen them attacking from the halfway line, and they look rapier sharp. They look absolutely superb. It's when they get into Leicester's 22, into the red zone, that they haven't been able to take advantage of the huge inroads they've made.
Another head injury assessment, this time for Ollie Cracknell, who's been all over the place in this first half, and he's replaced by Carl Hathrell, who had the first go at replacing Jasper Wiese in the 8 shirt yesterday, rather last weekend. He now on. He's got some defensive work to do. Bit less than 2 minutes to go. That line out was very competitive. It's won by Bath, and Barbary again, as he often does, standing off to provide that midfield thrust. Tomda. Spencer switches play. Russell, what opportunity now, but just slightly overran the ball as Russell was tied up.
The second one's come forwards off Leicester, so there's no advantage to be played.
No advantage. So there's a forward pass, then there's a knock-on by Green, so scrum.
I'm sure that,
so first is the forward pass,
Craig and Austin will celebrate
scrum Green.
The quality of both sides' attack. Certainly ball in hand. There's been much more fluency from Leicester in this first 40 than we saw for much of last season, and Bath as well. We've all seen how many more tries they might have scored, but uppermost perhaps is the quality of the defence from both of them.
You're absolutely spot on. The endeavour's been a lot better than the finishing, and you've got to understand as to why. Is it because people are nervous? Is it combinations bedded in? But it's actually just the quality of the defence. You can see the red zone efficiency there. It's way down where we expect for the quality of these sides. But 2 physical sides, very aggressive up in defence, and at the moment it's defence which is the narrative rather than it being poor attack. That's how I'd frame it.
Feathers in the caps of Matt Everard and JP Ferreira, respective defence coaches. 3 seconds left in this entertaining first 40. It's taken away by Carl Hathrell.
He walked straight for the middle of the ruck.
Bath have won it back. And then the bounce, creating some initial problems. Perese again in there. He's rapidly going to become a folk hero in these parts.
He's strong, isn't he? Ragdolls him when he gets hold of him.
He cares not for personal safety. He's one of those players who will put himself in the spokes of the wheel, and that was, goodness me, that was a fun first 40. A lot of bones to pick over for Michael Checker, for Johan van Graan, and for Craig and Austin when we come back shortly. How we've only had 2 tries, goodness only knows. We've had 1 yellow card for Isaiah Perese, and then Will Muir got the first try for Bath, and then Jack Van Portfleet, with a score that will be poured over for a long, long time. Half-time at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road. Leicester 10, Bath 5. Well, the first news is that Ollie Cracknell has failed his head injury assessment. Kyle Hathrell, who came on just before half-time, will still be with us at the start of this second half. That was a rip-roaring first 40. A word for Charlie Clare as well, the Leicester hooker. We're looking at the number of tackles they made in the first half. Charlie Clare by a million miles, top of the list. Actually, 4 more than Cracknell, but Charlie Clare, 15 tackles in that first half. It tells you all about the pressure that Bath were putting on that Leicester line. And it is Finn Russell who gets Bath underway. Taken high above his head by Wells. It was actually George Martin who took that pass and then taken away by Hatherell.
How good is that from Guy Pepper? Brilliant recovery to then get on the ball and turn it over for Bath.
Space.
Beno Abano. Barbary.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, please. Let him up, what up?
Spencer's clearing kick. Stewart underneath it.
10 minutes, please.
From a Newcastle Falcon, enjoying his first start for his new club. No Miles Reed this weekend. Sam Underhill still making his way back from an ankle operation after the England summer tour, but in Pepper, as we've been saying, Bath have a gem.
Free kick.
Yeah, all action. Good on both sides of the ball as well. We've seen him attacking breakdowns, but we've seen him a lot today with Bath having more of the ball. Very quick to pick and go in and around the breakdown.
Thank you.
If you're slow to get your guards in place and Bath have a bit of momentum, he will have the ball up and away before you can get set.
Stewart and Dunn combining sharply at the front of that lineup to very quickly release Alfie Barbary.
Yes, please.
Spencer handing away to the right-hand side where de Glanville did what he could to get underneath it. It was knocked forwards by Ollie Hassel-Collins.
When I saw the line-out set up and it was Alfie Barbary setting up for a box kick, I thought this is fairly unambitious for a team of so much quality. And then you realise that Ben Spencer and his ability to be able just to isolate players and put them into horrible positions. So when you talk about attack, it can be efficient, it could be elaborate, it could be flashy, but this is so efficient. Straight off the halfway line, they've been able to march up off of one phase, and now hopefully off the scrum, we'll get to see some of their potency out in their back line.
Crouch.
Yeah, wakes and wonders on this near side, the Bath left.
With that threat, Nicky Smith be trying to get his side, Joe Hayes be trying to get his side of the scrum up. Nicky Smith just holding on that far side slightly. Just try and get Tommy Rappel a little bit closer, Van Poorfleet a little bit closer to get out and support with all the movement that we'll have between Lawrence in that slightly wider channel, Will Butt in the 12 channel. Cannot afford them to have a free run into Shilcock.
Crouch.
Plenty of things for him to think about defensively.
Set.
Who's that behind the cameraman hiding?
Spencer, Russell, Lawrence. Now that threat, Orlando Bailey, Will Muir, big long strides. Russell Collins got there first, Muir hustling him, and now Perese.
Not now, roll left.
Hatherell.
Always in.
Russell's kick.
15 plays them up.
Tom de Glanville. And whether Shilcock had Tom de Glanville in his eyes there. And the ball was then stolen again by Guy Pepper.
Great strip.
Bayliss seemed to go backwards, so Spencer can go again. Looks up, sees the space. Muir hunts it down again. Stewart. No real distance.
Pulled up. Injured his knee in that. I don't know whether he just twisted, changing direction.
That's a worry when you look at Bath's bench. Bailey's already on. And they've got Yako Kutsia as well as Tom Carr-Smith.
It's a really interesting moment listening to Michael Checker this week and talking about when he first came to the club and the time it takes for him to bed in, the way he likes to do things. First couple of team meetings, he was just in his civvies. He didn't want to wear his Leicester kit, his Leicester branded kit. And the players asked him and said, why are you not wearing your Leicester branded polo shirt? And he said, because when I wear this shirt, I want to feel like I've earned it. And at the moment, you've earned it, I've not. I need to earn your trust. I'd never ever heard a coach, a director of rugby, ever talk like that. He's such an interesting character, the way he thinks about the game, approaches the game.
He's got a reputation, hasn't he, as a hardball. You know, we've seen it, some of his responses and some of his interviews. He doesn't shy away from saying what he really means, as some coaches do. He'll just give a plain vanilla answer, but I think one of his major strengths is judging the mood within his changing room and knowing when to give a bit of the hairdryer treatment when that's needed, but also when players need an arm around them. I think he's a very, very good thinker of the game. Very good tactical thinker as well.
I'll tell you what, Josh Bayliss is now number 6. He's now chatting to the likes of Ollie Lawrence, Will Butt. He's heading into the back line.
Yeah, Ted Hill is coming on first and foremost. That is awful to see for Will Muir, such an important part of what Bath have been about. But anyway, more of that in a minute. Lawrence striding his way through.
The ref's been taken out.
Down goes Craig Maxwell-Keys.
I'm fine.
He's all right.
Massive shot, Craig, well done. Stopped him dead. It's a great line from Lawrence. He even catches the referee off guard, coming straight back against the grain.
Oh dear. The reaction of Joe Hayes as well.
I'm going to guess it's a bad scrum.
The Leicester sandwich
Time on.
between Joe Hayes, Harry Wells and Ollie.
Real good, Craig.
My ribs are intact, that's about all we
Which is more than you can say for poor old Alex Sanderson last week. I was watching Sail Train up at Lim and he got taken out blindsided by Tom Roebuck during a kicking session. And poor old Al was down on his knees for about 5 minutes and he's cracked a couple of them. He left the game post-match early up in North London Saracens yesterday, and now his whistle's broken. He's lost his P.
Crouch.
Just shout, Craig, you'll be fine.
Bind. Set.
Ticking off our list of what this game has had so far, there aren't many things it hasn't had. That's once
Good
again.
scrum. That is a good scrum.
Pressurising, winning the penalty, Spencer, and then Butt. That's nice. Russell, really nice. And Bailey providing the width. Oh, Tom de Glanville. There are some tries where all you can do is just go, what a score that was.
Try is good, Craig.
Let's start with that scrum. The passing is superb, but the space is created on the outside by the shunt of the scrum and them taking Leicester's back row away. That means that Leicester in the midfield have to stay narrow. They get too narrow. They get taken by a little bit of deception, a little bit of running lines. But no support on the inside. They have to stay, and that means Freddie Stewart can't go early, can't get off to de Glanville.
I'm not sure that what the clip's going to show later, is it?
It's perfect timing of passes. They hold Hassel-Collins just long enough that Stewart feels he can't go. And they preserve the space in the wide channel. It's a super score.
top left of the screen. It's the clearest scrum yet, lads, right? The two props going forward and then the stand.
Oh, the crispness of the passing, the exploitation of space. Seems so simple, but just beautiful to watch. Into the final 10 seconds and sliced across the post, but my goodness, what a 5 points.
It's excellent. It's as clean an attack as we've seen. The dominance of the scrum, it's all the parts coming together, the timing of the pass, the flatness of the pass and the pace of it, and then it's just a simple finish. That's the threat of Bath.
Bayliss knowing his role as well, although he doesn't get the ball, he hovers perfectly on the shoulder of Russell just to hold those defenders for that fraction of a second longer.
Let go.
A couple of Bath tries now, one scored by Will Muir, who sadly
has
since gone off injured.
Drive, don't pull. No.
Just
drive,
scored by
pull.
Tom de Glanville.
Yep.
Jack Van Portfleet with Leicester's sole try up to this point. Good to see Tom de Glanville injury-free again. Chance really to make the shirt his own this season with Matt Gallagher earning his living with Benetton in Treviso. And I know that Johan van Graan loves the way he's developed into the kind of total fullback, all the fullback work, but the attack work as well, and in particular the way he often links with Finn Russell coming into the line. He's such a clever player. This is his bread and butter, though.
Inside, retreat.
I think he does everything really well, especially when you talk about this DuPont law, the marshalling of the backfield, which is so important.
Stewart off on his travels.
Your own player.
And Charlie Clare to Kelly, who provides some width as he finds Shilcock. Shilcock doesn't have much room to play with.
I think he's already in touch with me, but Hamish will correct if he needs.
Plenty going into that touchline. Saw Bath getting dragged out of there during the first half. Players not quite able to work off the touchline.
So option.
Just ask him if he wants anything different. Hold.
Ball was knocked on first, so Bath do have the option of a scrum if they want one. And I think this is what the conversation's about.
Into touch, so technically you can have a scrum if you want. Time off.
What's the choice here, Benny? When would you go for a scrum? When would you go for a line-out?
Obviously the line-out's slightly riskier in terms of not being able to deliver. More scores, most teams get more scores that start with a line-out. That's their bread and butter, but you are much more likely to get the ball back how you want it. You obviously tie in more bodies in the scrum for longer. And when you've got a midfield like the Bath midfield are performing at the moment, they're happy in this part of the field to take the scrum. If it was around the 22, you're probably thinking that they take the line out.
And a Bath scrum without Josh Bayliss because of the injury to Will Muir. There he is. Josh Bayliss, left winger. Ted Hill, part of that back row effort now. Hearing that Jaco Coetzee is on shortly for Alfie Barbary. Barbary still with us for the time being, and so is Butt, head down, knifing his way through. Oogs applauds.
How good. I mean, it's so simple. I say it's simple, and he's running north to south. But the yards and the speed of the ball, which he gives the likes of Finn Russell to be able to put it onto his toe. He's got his angles wrong. It's not been a masterclass of kicking out of hand for Finn Russell, unfortunately, today.
Just 1 metre inside the Leicester.
But Will Butt, I am so impressed with his dynamism, and this is a quality carry. Straight at Van Portfleet, gets back to his feet.
I think both props are taken down at the same time.
Sets the ball up perfectly.
There, you're on a penalty advantage.
And I'll tell you what, his role alongside Ollie Lawrence, how that buys time for Finn Russell off that last try is exceptional. Everyone doing their job. This here sits down the defence and gives Finn Russell enough time to get round the corner. And then it's about Finn Russell's the length, the speed, and how flat he brings the attacking line on. That ball there is so good. And then it means the Glanville, when he gets a simple run in, everyone doing their job in harmony.
Alfie Barbary has gone, replaced as we signposted by Jaco Coetzee. There he is, off the bench to supply Bath's 5th try late on the opening night. Bath back row now with Coetzee and Hill.
Leicester
Barbary now plenty of time to prepare for his starring role with Craig on the rugby review at the end of this match.
Leicester, last couple of scrums have been under real pressure. They've obviously got Dan Cole and James Cronin on the bench. I wonder if we might see some reinforcements, because at the moment Urbano is getting the upper hand on Joe Hayes.
Okay, that, yeah, thank you.
Height really good from Urbano, just drops that left shoulder slightly and then follows it round. Maybe a slight kick out of the hips from Urbano to the left, and he almost runs round a little bit, but I think he had some credit in the tank from the previous couple of scrums where Bath certainly had the upper edge.
Dan Cole tightening his laces, he's not far away. Meantime, Bath again with Russell and Lawrence, and that crisp handling, not quite the passing to match on that occasion, and the makeshift winger Josh Bayliss having to go down a long way.
Proper cheap shot from Anthony Watson there on Lawrence. And they both got up giggling, good mates obviously, but the whistle's gone. Watson sees an opportunity to get his old mucker. Here comes Watson in. Here's Lawrence. Lifts him up and go on, I'm going to tip you over anyway.
Here we go.
There you go. And they get up giggling.
Yes, yes. Yes, boys on.
Leicester getting ready to bring on James Cronin and Dan Cole, a couple of prop replacements for Nicky Smith and Joe Hayes. Dan Cole, been around the block a few times now, of course, but he's got a new boss to impress, as they all have.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Let's go.
It's a big last scrum for Hayes. Call comes in from the sideline. Christoph Ridley, referee's assistant, goes against Urbano this time. Maybe the same offence that we just flagged. Might have been slightly inevident on the last scrum that he did win the penalty for when he ran round the edge. Christoph Ridley has a look at this one, doesn't like it. Leicester get the penalty.
Joe Hayes, 100th Premiership game, by the way, part of the group, the England party that travelled to Japan and New Zealand at the start of the summer.
That'll be clear.
Meant for Martin Roon, wasn't far away. Clare away quickly, likewise Shilcock, Perese, and now Ollie Hassel-Collins. Jack Van Portfleet could never get his hands out of the brambles, and as a result it is Bath ball.
It's a trip on the clear out from Leicester. The space is good, they find it really well. Crisp hands, first of all from Clare, and then that from Perese is good. Lots of space there. Just watch the clear out from Watson here. He just trips over as he's going in, over the tackler, and that means he misses his man. Lovely hands. Find the space really, really well. Just watch Watson here. He's the man that needs to go over, win quick ball, take out his opposite number, Lawrence. He just trips on the way in. Lawrence makes a mess of it.
So the two prop changes. Ben Volavola has come on at fly half as well for Jamie Shilcock. Volavola, the Fijian, running out as a Tiger for the first time at Mattioli Woods Welford Road. Bath have brought on Tom Carr-Smith, young scrum half, for Josh Bayliss. And it looks like Carr-Smith, who is more accustomed to running around in the back line, is given the job on the left wing.
Couldn't hack it on the wing. I get it.
Set.
I get it, mate.
Oh, Leicester. Couple of big scrums back to back.
Is that Leicester's version of the bomb squad? You wonder with that selection, don't you? Leave Dan Cole on the bench, and then the game's tight, 10-all. That could become a little bit of a narrative. Bring on your better scrummagers, start winning some penalties, dominating this area of the game. Obviously, Bath still have some fresh legs to come off the bench themselves in the front row.
Yeah, it's on our radar. Yep.
But none of them with as many caps as Dan Cole.
Well, you are good there.
And that's the kind of work that does impress the new boss.
Thank you.
Charlie Clare still with us. Approaching the hour.
I guarantee you it's not. Time off. So let's go back to basics. Please hold the mark and don't step across. They'll stay out of the gap.
Like the worst wedgie you've ever seen.
You've just stepped off your mark, lad. So you go back, then I'll speed them up. Thank you.
Overexcited Carl Hathrock. Where's this one going? Set. Just won by Harry Wells. Brilliant battle with Quinn Rue going on. Been going on all match, and Leicester now again. The touchline not their friend.
Okay, we'll play a strip to them.
Been lost anyway, and Ben Spencer to the calm head of Will
Straight on the
Stewart.
ball, please. Yes, please. Don't pull them.
Get the throw. Good defence at the last one from Bath in the air. A little bit of contact in the air, but nothing enough to give the penalty. But it just meant that as Harry Wells landed, he couldn't quite get the setup right. He was a little bit below the player coming in to rip the ball. Above the player coming in to rip the ball. He couldn't get down quickly enough.
Sorry, lads. I've sped you up.
Leicester get another shot, a little bit further out this time, 22.
Yep.
In response to those scrums that we've just seen, Bath are preparing Francois Van Fake. He is coming on. So too Charlie Yules to add his bulk. Niall Annett as well, taking the place of hooker Tom Dunn. Annett, Van Fake and Yules all brought off the bench, and it's the end of Ross Maloney's debut.
Time on.
Francois Van Fake.
7-4.
Back changing in the away dressing room today. He was there for a while with Northampton, then it was the home dressing room, and now he's with Bath.
They'll certainly know each other, Dan Cole and Van Veek, who have lined up against each other at live scrummaging sessions in training.
This aerial battle has been a good one, and again Rue was up there doing what he could to mess things about. Hassel Collins maintaining that wider blind side, but it's to the open side they come, and then a thunderous chop low on Hathrell, bringing him down. That was Charlie Yules saying hello. Van Portfleet. Here goes Watson. Pepper may well have been involved in that as well. Here goes Liebenberg.
Oh, what a strip. Ollie Lawrence again. He's so good at that. He's chasing his own kick.
Being chased hard by Tom Carr-Smith. That ball will roll away invitingly.
It's a 50-22 though, Nick.
50-22.
What a kick. What a passage for Bath.
Well, this defensive set is class. I mean, the kick there from Ollie Lawrence and then the pace, what a good head-to-head that really was. Gets a lovely left spin on it. Excellent, excellent defensive set.
Let's go!
Both had the most 50-22s last season, and they've thrown in a good and just there into the final quarter.
Just watch how he stripped the ball, though. Lawrence might not have time to see it, but really, really good. He's so powerful and just yanks his arm through past the ball, takes the ball with him, and then he's got the skill level to kick it and win this ball.
Charlie All's calling the line out to the tail. Niall Annett was looking for his target at the front, but just a little bit of confusion and frustration on the face of Guy Pepper.
It's Bath's 10th visit to Leicester's 22.
There we go.
Considering the amount of quantity on the pitch, and yes, defence has been great, and some of the collisions, some of the tackling and the jackling on the ball has been outstanding. The finishing touches in attack has often been missing.
Jan van Graan inching his body and soul for the club for another season. He really helped reignite that love affair between the city and its rugby club last season. Saw that all last season, and we enjoyed it last Friday night at the Rec as well.
Difficult place to get out of here for Leicester. Coffin corner. Very, very short dead ball area.
There we go.
They'll just want it in as quickly as possible, you'd imagine. Unless Dan Cole looks over his shoulder and says to Hatherall, leave it in, let's just have one little bite at the new front rowers. See if I can win a penalty against Van Beek. That would really ease the pressure. Otherwise, the number 8 has to go against the grain. There's not room to clear straight from the scrum. Number 8 has to go back towards Spencer.
It's been a great contest with both the big set pieces today, at the line out and now increasingly at the scrum.
That's that point. That is why tight heads are still worth their weight in gold. Some of them weigh a bit more than others, but that is such a hard place to get out of, particularly with that short dead ball area. And Dan Cole's just gifted them an exit.
I don't believe it was.
And the throw into the line out. The kick's not particularly good. It's not even made the 22. First part of the job done by that man.
On comes Ben Youngs for Jack Van Portfleet. Ben Youngs into a 19th Premiership season, and the applause for Van Portfleet at the end of his first game here as Leicester captain. George Martin captain. Meantime, Bath with ball that again they burgled back from lineouts, taken on by Niall Annett. And an opportunity handed to them here to retake the lead. Francois van Feyck. Dan Cole now in the middle of Leicester's defensive effort. Here's Pepper. Another standout performance from him. Lays the ball back. Ted Hill not far away. And Ted Hill and Bath with the reach for the ball, and Pepper comes up with it. Well, the hard work that Bath have put into this match, particularly in that area, finally pays dividends, and Pepper, who deserves a try, has one.
I said he likes a pick and go. He had two in quick succession. There's the first, goes to ground, recycles himself back into it, gets straight back to his feet, picks again, and before Rafael can get back in there in a decent low position, he's already halfway to the line, and then he's got an immediate place allowed in the law book, and he uses it perfectly. Really good score.
Tries good, Craig, tries good.
I don't know what's more impressive, Ben, his ability to stay on his feet, or the fact that he went pick and go, got back to his feet, someone else carried, and then he went again. Like, his regenerative work to stay in the game and have an effect is excellent.
He's good on time, yeah? He doesn't want to tell him. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Just his previous two conversions, but the simplest of the lot for Finn Russell. And all of a sudden, with 15 minutes to go, Bath with a 7-point lead as 21-year-old Finn Theobald Thomas comes on to replace Charlie Clare at hooker. Ending the match with 18 tackles, Charlie Clare, 15 of them in the first half. Start claimed by Jaco Coetzee. And Spencer making the point that that ball was being delayed by Leicester illegally. Kick will take Bath 6-7 strides outside the Leicester 22.
Talked about Leicester's resurgence in the scrum. Bath's line out has been a huge factor in them regaining the lead. Particularly when Leicester got the ball, what they like with their own ball, can they deliver the perfect, perfect platform.
Ted Hill won it, Pepper brought it away and then Coetzee. Spencer starting to iPhone. Oh, that is frustrating. Just a feeling that Bath beginning to throw a few more coals on the fire just then, and it all ends a little bit disappointingly.
This is a massive scrum in the context of it, with what's happened at the last couple. Bath cannot afford to give away another penalty here.
Here we go, let's go then.
Otherwise, they're going to have to temper how they play for the rest of the game. They're not going to be able to throw passes that risk a knock-on.
So same message for Neil. Yep.
It's kind of wild to think that
He's had the same message.
in a game that's so tight, Bath are chasing a bonus point.
Crowd.
3 tries so far in the first half. Will Muir, and they have led the way scoring-wise in the second. It's been all them, de Glanville and latterly Pepper over Leicester's line.
Better scrum.
Youngs flipped away to Vola. Kelly. And now Anthony Watson, bit of space to move into, is being shadowed by Carr Smith. Yeah, there's a penalty on the way. Vola.
Was that a deliberate knockdown as well?
In the tackle. Back we go. Really in the tackle off his right arm.
No danger in that, is there? It's just one of those seatbelt that makes contact with the chin. No real swing in it.
Numbers.
That was Anthony Watson's last run, his first game in a long time. And here comes Mike Brown, first time we have seen him this season, into his 21st season, Mike Brown.
Broken away.
One initially by Leicester, and then Liebenberg away swiftly to Hathorn. Martin and Wells wait to offer some big ballast, but again Leicester losing ball to Bath in contact, and Bath working so hard to win back ball, pounce first on spilt ball.
Lack of support from Leicester in that carry. Coetzee, he's got an age to get down onto this. Liebenberg maybe just taken out with the first man in front, but maybe Ben Youngs has to recognise they're short a little bit there and get his own head over the ball. I know he wants to clear it away as quickly as possible.
JP Pereira shouting the odds, Bath's defence coach.
And you've matched.
How hard they have worked, his side has worked to find themselves in this position with 10 minutes to go.
More. This is sidewards once.
Youngs. That's a kicked contest. Brown will do what he can to get underneath it. Coetzee was pushed off the ball there by Hathorn, right in front of Craig Maxwell-Keys.
What an absolute needless bit of ill-discipline in such a tight game.
I think that's the right call. They're a long way out. The game's still in the balance. I know they're chasing that bonus point, but if the gift's there, you have to take it. Still enough time to go and get the bonus point, but just put pressure on Leicester to start opening the game up and potentially present you with another opportunity off an error.
He scored 13 of Bath's 38 points against Saints last weekend. He pushed and he poked and he prodded his club around in the usual fashion. Not been flawless today, but how he has influenced affairs, and this is a big kick. Strikes it nicely, but it lacks direction.
Well, bar his kick straight in front, for all his skill and for all his brilliance, his kicking game hasn't been good today.
Leicester have got an engineer away out of their own half though, and it'll come back at them in double quick time with Lawrence. Tumbles over halfway. Spencer, Coetzee, and then Russell floated over the top to de Glanville. Popping up on that right wing again. Snatched out of the air by Coetzee. He's been good since he came on. And then Lawrence straightens things up, goes straight through the middle, looking right, looking left, goes left. The bouncing pass to Tom Carr-Smith, controlled by the makeshift winger, the usual scrum half, to keep this Bath move alive. Fun fake, running against familiar shirts, old friends. There's Villiquez-Acela on his debut.
Tackle, lads!
Now Leicester win it back.
Ben Young's quick reaction there.
He's the only one left on his feet.
Sees Bath isolated. Lawrence is having a fantastic game, isn't he? Again, sees that gap open up in the midfield between Liebenberg and I think Kelly outside him. He uses that footwork, but then Hatherall just doing enough to hold up Coetzee first. That takes Annett out of the game, and Young spots his opportunity with no one else on the feet to be able to go in and pinch the ball.
Thank you.
Yeah, so there's Villiquez-Acela, debut today. Teenager, still only 19, England under-20 caps, come up through the academy. I wish him all the best at the start of his Gallagher Premiership career. Ooh, throw over the top, and Volla got there first, and then what was he doing with that? And Pepper's chasing, and the bounce is important. Stewart got there first. It was knocked forwards. Was it deliberate?
I think that's a deliberate knock-on from Stewart.
Yeah, Christoph Ridley comes in, the assistant on this near side, to...
Definitely got a knock-on. Man in front offside. You're saying we need to consider deliberate?
I think he gets desperate because he sees the man coming and deliberately knocks it.
So let's take a look.
That was my first take.
On field, checking whether that's an act of desperation to deliberately knock the ball on.
Okay, we'll get some replays and come back to
obviously the questions start off, is he trying to catch the ball? If he's not trying to catch the ball, we then just need to consider whether he could realistically regather it.
Leicester's line-out's been appalling.
Have a look.
Volla misses it.
Kick and he's onside.
And I think he's going to catch it, but then he realises it bounces past him and backwards towards the left. Has he got a chance of realistically catching that? I think if that was an attempted intercept, I think they'd say no way.
I think he's trying to scoop that with his left hand. I don't see that as a deliberate act. What are you thinking, Hamish?
Spot on.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, and I think he has the opportunity to try and regather it there.
Yeah, and then it does hit 16 who's in front, so it's an on-field penalty for knock-on offside, but nothing else.
Yeah, stick with your on-field.
Okay, thank you. So it's a knock-on offside. Yeah.
I think Freddie
Stewart. A penalty for a knock-on offside.
I think he's just trying to pad it up to regather it.
But if he'd done that,
going to be a penalty for
and Bath had thrown a pass, I think that would have been a deliberate knock-on.
Yeah.
Well, Freddie Stewart.
Come on. So knock-on offside. What are we doing, Ben?
One way or the other conceding the penalty.
Shot at goal.
And having gone for the shot at goal a couple of minutes ago from a much tougher position, Ben Spencer, as the captain, says let's give it another go, and this time...
Well, he just looked to Finn, and Finn went, you have this.
Yeah. Captain takes over kicking responsibility as well. Finn Russell watching along with the rest of us. And this to take Leicester beyond losing bonus point territory. And with a little over 5 minutes to go, Bath's lead is now 10.
Well, Leicester have been given opportunities to get back into this game, but the line-out's been such a problem. That last overthrow over Liebenberg's head should have been cleared up by Vola, but now they have to chase the game a little bit.
Freddie Stewart got there first ahead of Quinn Root.
Then he's off that scrub.
Bath scrum.
There's Mark. Thank you, Bath.
Big call, Refty. Or big call,
Checker, having done his audit on last season, decided there were a couple of things that needed work on: mental strength and fitness. The two big summer work-ons. Matt Parr's come in as the new head of athletic performance. Chris Kemp as well into the S&C team from Northampton. And Leicester will need fitness and heightened mentality now to get something from this.
Wide.
Fitness too. It's been a work on for Johan van Graan and this Bath's side for well over a year now. They've got themselves into a lovely position. But Russell.
Stop. Thank you.
Invites Leicester to play from deep. Stewart tries to find his way up and over halfway, which he does well. That's a strong carry. Well, Pepper's hurt himself, so Bath's defence shorn of one of their kingpins, and Mike Brown tries to exploit that. That look forwards by a long way.
Double knock on, so it's going to be a Bath scrum. Time is off, please. 7 is injured. 1, 2, scrum Bath, but time off. Happy guys?
Pepper running into Jaco Kutsia.
Piper extends the elbow, doesn't he?
Yep. Yeah, since outside of Bath's half.
Prowling around, wondering if his side have done enough. Johan van Graan. Just a reminder that we've got a week's worth of football, European football, ahead with us here on TNT Sports. Manchester City, Celtic, Villa, Liverpool, all involved on Tuesday and Wednesday. And it's a week that spills into Thursday as well. Spurs, Manchester United, Rangers, Hearts, Larne, Chelsea. All there, the new Saints as well. Just a reminder that we'll have the rugby review once we've done with the contest here at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road. Alfie Barbary will be joining us.
So it's in Leicester's half.
Harry Wells replaced by Corm Yusan. Frenchman saying hello to this place on a Premiership match day for the first time.
Tom on them. Yeah, I'm afraid not. First was over here.
Pepper, thankfully, still with us.
Double knock on first by Green. Then you can go, yeah.
Second.
And he's not short of tape or bandages, Guy Pepper, but he's still with us. He's had another energy game. High impact. Shoving hard in a pack that was shoving illegally. And Leicester have a penalty. A little over 3 minutes to go. So there's Corm Yusan.
No one really with the power, I think. Don't think from that range. Otherwise, the shot at goal might have been an option. Just to get back to that bonus point. Still give you time on the clock to attack and chase.
Hey, it's outside if you turn it. 7-7.
Vola thought that that kick was worth a few more metres. Instead, Leicester's line out to be launched in by Theobald Thomas just outside the 22. That point was made to Bath just in case they stole it and tried to clear it immediately, but Leicester with possession.
Once Leicester!
Thinking right now that losing bonus point might be the best they can hope for. Here's Kelly. How clean can Bath remain at these breakdowns? Hatherall trying to make life tough. It was Anna over the ball. Here is Yasan. Youngs goes this way and that, and then Rafael. We know the work he produced late on down in Devon last weekend, and Leicester looking for more here.
On the ball,
the wind's surely beyond them, but not just yet. Something. Here's Stewart. Wide ball. Guy Pepper amongst those desperately protecting the line now. One big drive. What's Craig Maxwell-Key seen? That's what he's seen.
Need to rush the conversions, give them time, all the Leicester players running back.
Dan Cole comes up with it. Ben Volavola is going to tee up
if we need to,
the conversion. There'll still be time to restart here. Oh, goodness me. It's a 5-point lead and we're into the 80th minute.
It's not been one for the 10s out of hand, is it? Or off the tee.
Well, right now, Michael Checker is on his way to a losing start here at home as he takes charge of this side, but right now Leicester do have a losing bonus point.
Yes.
Where does this go from Russell? Launch it as far as he can, and that's the plan. Says to... Oh, and Kyle Hatherall's knocked it on. And that works out very nicely for Bath. And now they can pressurise Leicester and maybe take away that losing bonus point. Player of the match.
I think Guy Pepper's had a superb game. Both sides of the ball. Will Muir as well. Really, really good while he was on the field. But for me, the guy that's oozed quality, both sides of the ball, Ollie Lawrence, has been a cut above everyone today, and he's our Gallagher Premiership Player of the Match.
Put time back on when I say crouch, please.
Might he have one last big role to play? Bath now seeking the extra bonus point, the try-scoring bonus point. He scored tries through Muir and de Glanville and Pepper. Opportunity from this platform to absolutely finish the job and get one of those precious wins here in the East Midlands.
Set.
Spencer
Play away.
following the ball.
My time.
Away. Russell says, let's not worry about the bonus point. Let's enjoy this win. Let's bank the 4 points, which they do. Any win, any time, means the world to Bath at this place, and they have been so impressive, particularly in the second half where they scored the tries that pulled them away. A losing start for Michael Checker at this place, but I think everybody knows what Checker will do to this side going forwards. Right now, though, it's Bath's win. Full time, Leicester 15, Bath 20.